Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 54 of the pre-production meeting. I am Josh Urquhart, your co-host.
And I'm your other co-host, Daniel Kugola.
What's your name? You forgot for a second, bro.
No, I was just trying to not say it weird because I feel like I say it weird.
I was saying it weird all the time. Welcome back to another week of film news, film talk, and everything film. This is the podcast where we go through from conception to execution, the creation of indie films until we get to the big leagues, whilst also spreading some news and talking about our favourite films that we've seen throughout the week. And we finish off with a special segment, which we change every week, and we don't actually have a name for it. But welcome back. It's called The Seg. There you go. Dan, welcome back to another week of the podcast, my friend.
Thanks, Josh.
How are you, number one? But how do you think last week's podcast went with Jared and Emily?
Oh, I really liked it.
Yeah?
Yep.
I'm going to try not laugh as hard today because I got so annoyed at my laugh throughout the whole
I think your
podcast.
laugh is very contagious.
I just cringed every single time. I'm like, they're speaking and all you hear is like, bro, I can't do it. So if you hear me laughing a lot, just tell me to shut up.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah? Is that all you're going to give me? Come on, man. This is a podcast. You're the host.
All right,
I'm good. Like,
trying. All right, can we pick up from how are you?
Yeah, all right. Dan, my friend, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
That's good, bro.
No, I've been busy.
You've been busy?
Yeah, I've been working on Australian Idol. That's been
nice.
Good. My film is in post-production.
Nice.
So me and Lockie are editing that together. It's coming along nicely.
We're going to touch on that today.
Yes, we will.
Deep dive into it because we didn't get to last week.
That's the main point of today's podcast. We're going to deep dive into my short film, Barren.
Fuck yes. And we've seen some cracker films throughout this week as well.
Mm-hmm, we have. Me and Josh went to the IMAX together and saw a particular
date,
sand-filled blockbuster.
Crazy. It was crazy because I was just trying to watch the film the whole time and Dan got the special worm bucket and he wasn't, I'll tell you right now, he wasn't watching the film. He was too busy with the worm bucket.
How have you managed to turn this around on me, Josh?
What are you talking about, bro? Bro, they don't even sell the worm bucket here. They sell the what?
Yeah, you were pretty disappointed about that.
I was very disappointed actually. But instead, I got a Orange Collector's little popcorn bucket, and it's
for $25.
Yeah, it was $25. You could have gotten a drink as well.
You know what though? That popcorn was pretty slapping. I gotta say the IMAX food is banger.
Well, Dan was going off at me for spending $25 on the collector's.
I didn't go off at you. I said, "Are you sure you want to do that?"
He slapped me. He screamed at me. He was like, "Why are you getting $25 worth of popcorn?" And I got it. And then guess who tries it first? Dan. And he's like, "Holy shit, this is actually pretty good." And then
because he told me, I said I don't want to scab off you, and then you were like, it's our popcorn.
It's our popcorn. And then our hands met in the middle of the popcorn bucket. And then we enjoyed the movie together. Yeah, we did. It was amazing. But yeah, we saw that, and I saw some cool films as well, and not so cool films, and TV show, which is very mid, which we'll get into. But yeah, man, I'm glad your week has been good.
Thank you. How's your week been?
Oh, here we go. It was a test, man. Week has been good. Last night was a bit stressful, not going to lie, but we'll get into that in the progress.
Yeah, I want to hear about that, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I think it's something that we all go through, and it will be good to talk about in relation to the kind of filmmaking process I guess. But let's get straight into it without boring these guys. But crazy. We saw some good films. Let's do the wrap up of the week. I think I'll start with one of the worst films I've ever seen, Madam Web. I saw that and I couldn't even give it a review on Letterboxd because I feel like I would have been kicked off the app if I did.
Is it as bad as everyone's saying? Apparently,
nah, it's worse. It's so much.
Is it really that bad?
It's dreadful. And I just want to preface, look, man, congrats to all the filmmakers for making a movie, but oh man, God, it was hard to watch. And like just everything about the film. Like I thought people were just hating on it to hate on it. Yeah. When one person hates on it and then, somebody else jumps on and it's just that becomes a thing to hate on a film.
Yeah.
This I understood when everybody was hating on it because it was just terrible. A terrible script, terrible directing. Actually, I won't say terrible directing. It was the director's first time directing a feature, which kind of is a bit confusing. So Sony taking a chance on a first-time director, but I generally just don't think it's her fault. I think she and all the actors try their best to make this shit of a script work.
And you know what the shame is about it? Now her career is kind of stained because that's her first feature.
That's what I said. Well,
so bad,
here's the thing. I don't know if it was you I was talking to or someone else, but I think Dakota Johnson, her career is a bit stained, but the young girls like Sydney
but
Sweeney,
at least she had a backlog of good movies behind her. You know, it's this director's first feature, and it's.
Oh, you mean the director's career is stained? Yeah. I was talking about the actors like Sydney Sweeney.
Oh no, they'll be fine.
And like, they'll be fine. It's so early on in their careers, but. Oh man, I don't understand why they rehired the writers that did Morbius, and oh man, honestly,
it does seem like a strange decision, doesn't it?
The whole film, every decision they made was strange, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand that they like. I don't understand how. Okay, we say a movie is made 3 times. I don't understand how any time in that process they watched the rushes. They watched the rough cut, they read the script, they watched the revisions, and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
And
or maybe, I'm sure people probably did say things.
That film went into cinemas and got a worldwide release. Like, it is it blows my mind. And, it just, like you said, it stained the director's career, and at no fault of her own. I don't doubt that the studios got involved.
Well, don't you think that she would probably know what she's getting into?
Yeah. I mean, but then again, I think these people like kind of, they state it as, hey, you're signing on for a Marvel film. But it's not actually Marvel, you know?
Yeah, but sure. Oh, yeah. I guess it depends.
Yeah,
because she might have started working on that before, like, Morbius even came out, and then you wouldn't know.
That's true. And
or you might always think, like, that you can be the person to turn it around.
Exactly. You know? It's like when you get into a toxic relationship, and you're like, I can fix them.
Yeah.
And you can't. It's already, you know, from the very start, it's just... You're getting into a relationship with a toxic person and you think you can change them, but then you don't. And then you break up, then you get back together with them. Don't do it. That's
you know your movie's bad when Sydney Sweeney can't even fix it.
I know, man. Like, but
how was she in it?
I don't. Here's the thing, and this is gonna be a what's it called, a hot take. But I don't really rate Sydney Sweeney as an actress. Like
I've only really seen her in Euphoria, and she's.
I think she's good in Euphoria,
that role,
but since that role, she hasn't really shown. To be fair, she's done a rom-com. Like, how can you? It's a rom-com. She's all right. I think she's a lot. I've no doubt she will continue to improve and improve and improve. But I think she's just she's really famous at the moment without the acting to kind of back it up. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Yeah. I'm sure she'll grow into a better actress, but Yeah, no, the film, man, is just, the writing was dreadful, and I don't really have anything else to say. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
So you gave it 0 stars?
No, I gave it a half. I don't give any film 0 stars.
Can you do 0 on Letterboxd?
Yeah, you can just watch it. You can just watch a film. Yeah. But you know what?
Imagine watching a movie without criticizing it.
You know what, man? I'm like, at least give them a half. They've made a movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, everybody's tried.
You can give them,
the half is for participation.
A decimal point for respect.
Yeah, it's basically a participation trophy, the half out of 5. But no, it was just, it wasn't that good, man. And I don't recommend it. But honestly, I went into it. And
do you think it's even fun to watch, like, just to see how bad it is?
So that's
or not
what I was
even?
Literally about to say. Me and my mate, I mean, we see every superhero film together. And he was like, we're going to see Madam Web. I'm like, hell yeah, we are. Like, we went into it with the same kind of thoughts that we went into Black Adam and the Marvels with. Is like, this is not going to be good. But let's have an amazing time just laughing at it the whole time. Just how, and it's ironically funny. It's not actually funny. But yeah, it just looked, honestly, it just looked like a first-time filmmaker. Not even like first-time feature filmmaker, just filmmaking in general. Like, it generally blows my mind how this got through everybody. But don't watch it. Half out of 5. Second thing I want to talk about, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
I saw that, what's it called? Yeah, the live action series, and yeah, man, I don't know. I think I kind of stuffed up by rewatching the animation right before, because my girlfriend hadn't seen it. So we watched season 1 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Literally, as soon as we finished that episode, we went on to the live action. And I just, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed feelings about it. Like, I think the effects are really good at some points, and then other points it's like they haven't even tried.
Right.
I think the good parts. I'll start with the good parts of it. I think Zuko's really good. I think Katara's good. I think Iroh's okay. Sokka's okay. I don't know whether this is the actor or the writing or whatever, but I think Aang's a bit of a miscast. He speaks, and I know he's 100 years old, whatever, but he speaks like he's...
Is he 100 years old?
Well,
I don't know the story. I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the original,
No.
like the animation?
No.
Oh, gosh. What? Have you? What? Who am I speaking to then? Anyways, I'm just going to speak to the camera then. Apparently, because he got stuck in ice for 100 years, right? But he doesn't act like a kid. And that's the heart of the animation, is that, you know, these filler episodes that are in Avatar: The Last Airbender are filler, but they show his kind of journey and his acceptance of taking on the role of the Avatar over time by going through those childish phases that he goes through and having fun and stuff. But since the very opening of that first episode, all he wants to do is get to the Northern Water Tribe and save the world, you know?
So they've kind of streamlined the story, but it's suffered as a result.
Yeah, they just made it very serious, which, like, I understand. They changed a lot. They combined a lot. They put episodes from season 2 in season 1, and Sarah had only seen season 1 of the animation. So when spoilers from season 2 and characters that are in season 2 come into season 1, I tell her to stop watching the live action and come back to it after you finish the rest of the series, because it's so much better. I think the bending's good. I after watching the show, I am still convinced that the only person that knows how to use the volume correctly is Greg Fraser.
Oh, did they use it in this?
Yeah, they use it terribly, and even in the trailers that you can see,
like it doesn't look
good. Like when they're flying on Appa, the big bison,
right.
like it's awful, man. And then it's so confusing because other parts look fantastic, and they built some sets, but then didn't build other sets, which understandably so. They're not going to build a whole ice kingdom or water kingdom or whatever, the water tribe, but yeah, I just don't know. The acting's, like, the writing's just awful. It's just all exposition because they crammed 25 episodes into 8 episodes. It should have at least been 15, and I know each episode apparently cost $15 million to make. So, jeez. I mean, I understand why it wasn't that long, but still, I feel like the parts that they did brush over or missed out on or skipped out on were too important to do so, but they still did it. And the parts that they combined into the one episodes, or they're combining multiple episodes in one, like, they just shouldn't have, because they're too important episodes to combine into one. They should have their own. Anyways, I could go on and on about it, but I was a bit disappointed, I'm not going to lie, because it's one of my favorite shows of all time. And, like, the original creators of Avatar: Last Airbender signed on for this Netflix show, but then left due to creative differences, and I can see those creative differences now. And it's just a bit disappointing, man, because some parts are really good, and episode 6 was the standout. If you guys ever get to it, episode 6 is amazing, and but again, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm also happy that it's better than the M. Night Shyamalan version that they did a while back. So, yeah, go give it a go. It just got renewed for season 2 and 3 this morning, so yeah, I mean, it was always going to happen like that, but unfortunately, I think it was doomed since the original creators left the series. So, I would give Madam Web, like I said, a half out of 5. I would give Avatar: The Last Airbender maybe like a 2.5, 3 out of 5. And then my next one is Dune, but I'm sure you've watched some stuff before we get into the Dune convo. Yeah. So, my friend, what have you been watching the last couple of weeks?
Oh, well, I was going to talk about this last week, but obviously we didn't have time to talk about movies. But
Yep.
I finally, after like 2 years of watching, because you know how I extend my TV shows.
Okay.
I finally finished The Sopranos. And
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. It's probably one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's
That's
definitely
what
up there, like top 3 maybe.
My friend at work, Georgie, her favorite TV show of all time is The Sopranos. She
really?
only ever watches reality TV show or gangster shows.
Yeah.
Or whatever the crime lord shows. But yeah, I have heard it's amazing.
Yeah, no, and it's just like, the ending is like quite bleak in terms of like where they finish off certain character arcs. The show is so unpredictable but so perfect for the story, like, the whole crime mafia.
Yep.
Because you have like these characters that you follow for seasons on end and you get attached to them and stuff, and then they just get killed off like quickly.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah,
it's so brutal, but it like fits that world. And then when you first see it happen, it's like, oh, like it feels like the character arc's incomplete. Yeah. And then you think about it and you're like, no, actually that is complete, because the whole point was that they were supposed to be like, slaughtered out of nowhere. That's kind of the whole point of their arc. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
But it's not just about the shock factor. There's so much more. Like, characters will be killed from another character, and then it'll be like the aftermath of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just constantly an eye for an eye sort of thing, and you're following the politics throughout all the seasons, and then they'll like build up a character that you think is going to be like the next villain, and then they just suddenly get killed off like it's nothing. Like it's just so brutal. And
I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I've heard that it's
similar
like
to that.
Like,
yeah, but
just get killed off.
Yeah, but I almost felt like Game of Thrones started to get more into the whole shock value, like just for the sake of it, whereas it feels a little bit more intentional with The Sopranos. Mm-hmm. I think because they did it from the start. It's the same as like The Walking Dead. Like, it started off, the deaths felt quite intentional, and then it was just like, okay, like I don't care about these characters anymore, because I know they're just going to die from something stupid, like a zombie eating them or whatever. But yeah, like it's such a wonderful show, and the way it ends as well. Like, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, even though it's been out for ages, because it's just such a wonderful show, and I'd highly recommend anyone watch it who hasn't seen it. But
I watched the first episode.
Oh, really? What do you think of it?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I can't commit to shows.
Yeah, and fair. And like I would watch it with subtitles on, because it's a lot of like there's a lot of pop culture references. There's like jargon, like they have the New York language. And
New York.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of politics and stuff. So it's just
is there a lot of coffee?
Yes.
Nice.
Coffee and hot dogs.
Coffee and hot dogs. Yeah, nice.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm walking there.
Yeah. So I watch it with subtitles, which otherwise you miss bits and pieces that are like important to the story. But yeah, no, overall, amazing show. Highly recommend.
Nice.
I also watched an episode of Gen V, which is the Boys spin-off, which I thought was really good. I want to watch the rest of that, but it's not the most unique concept. It's just like, it's basically superhero high school with these kids that want to get into the big leagues. Like, they want to be in the 7 kind of thing.
I still haven't finished The Boys, bro.
Oh, okay, but like the concept. Yeah, obviously.
I've started. I finished the first season, and I watched a couple episodes of the second, maybe, and then I just stopped. It was good. Dude, I've started so many shows that I haven't finished. I started Breaking Bad about, hold on, let me calculate. 6 years ago.
Yeah, you haven't finished it.
I got to the very last season, one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I'm halfway through the last season. I'm halfway through the last season. I still have like the rest of the season to go.
For me, I take like ages to watch the show, but once I get to the last season or 2, I just like smash through it.
I
can't believe you would get to that point and then stop.
It was so good.
Aren't you dying to know what happened?
No, because I can't remember.
How can you get to that point with Breaking Bad and not finish it? But
it was amazing as well. It's like, just when you think I can't get any more intense, it does. It's an incredible show.
I love the 4th season of that show. I think that's the best one.
Do you know what it was?
What?
I watched it with my ex. I watched it with my ex, and of course we broke up. I just never finished it. Yeah.
Also, the spin-off Better Call Saul is like just as good, maybe even better in certain ways.
I remember back in screenwriting class, and Carell was running us through Better Call Saul scripts, because he was showing us and saying it's like fucking fantastic.
So good. Like, it's sort of slower in certain aspects, but like when it hits, like those gut punch moments, they hit even deeper.
That's right.
Breaking Bad.
And he, I remembered like a activity that we did is like reverse screenwriting. Did you do that when he would show us a scene and then we would write it out?
Oh.
That's like a little practice that we did back in school. But Better Call Saul, he showed us a scene from like the pilot or something that. But yeah, I've heard it's as good.
Yeah.
What else?
Okay, and then on to movies. I watched, actually, Federico recommended this one a while ago. The Worst Person in the World. Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Have you seen it?
No, but I've heard about
I've
it.
heard of it. Really, really good. It's a Norwegian film, just about this woman who's navigating like her love life. Like she's with this guy, and then your favorite kind of topic, like sort of cheats on him, but not quite.
Oh, fucking hell, man. I can't do that. Of course, man. Well, I'm definitely not watching it now.
Yeah, so she's with this guy who like wants to have kids and stuff, but she's not ready for that, and then meets this other guy, and then she's like, oh, we're not technically cheating, but it's like borderline, and then it's like things get complicated, and then but no, it's actually a really incredible, beautiful movie. The way it's shot, it sort of pays homage to certain films like 500 Days of Summer, just in the style, but it has its own unique twist on it. It's also one of those films that just has like different chapters, which I'm not the hugest fan of. Like, why do
You've
we
said that before,
yeah,
hey?
like
Tarantino.
sometimes it works.
Is it Tarantino or Scorsese that does chapters?
Yeah, sometimes
Both
it
of them,
works, but like this film has 12 chapters.
Oh, what
So it's like
the
every
hell?
every 15 minutes, chapter 2, chapter 3.
Okay,
and I'm
that's a bit
like, do we
annoying.
need that? Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
tell
yeah.
the film. But no, there's some really beautifully emotional moments that like, yeah, they hit different. I don't want to spoil too much about it because it's a pretty recent movie.
I'm
But
gonna watch it.
no, it's actually I think you should watch it.
Oh fuck! I hate movies that use
I
cheating.
think you
as
should
a
watch
plot
it just
point.
for like the third act. 'Cause I
Okay.
think you
Maybe I'll just watch
you,
the
I think
third
you'll
act.
appreciate it.
Okay, I would do
I
that.
think you'll appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So
I might.
actually, guess what I gave that one?
4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the poster of the girl running?
Yeah.
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 I've
It's
seen that, yeah.
cinematography is beautiful as well.
Okay. Cool. Was it up for any awards or no?
I think it might have. I think it got recognized at like some of the big festivals.
Nice. Cool. All right. Dune.
Dune.
Wow. Where do we
Yeah.
even start?
What a
man?
movie.
I'm still speechless. It's
Yeah.
still sinking in. Do you want to take it away?
Sinking like quicksand.
Ooh.
I mean, there's no quicksand in the film.
Yeah, it's a
There is sand.
spicy reference right there, Dan. All
Yeah,
right,
no, I think this film was literally everything that you'd want from a blockbuster. Like, I was trying to think of my favorite scene from it, and then I was like, every scene slapped.
Yeah.
Like, every single action scene was
It
cracked up.
slapped like Zac Efron in High School Musical 2 on the water. Continue.
Yeah, it builds upon the first one in such a profound, interesting way.
Yeah.
Yet it sort of takes its own direction. It feels like its own separate film.
Yeah.
I would almost compare it to like the Dark Knight trilogy. You know how it's like all one story, but each thing feels like its own separate piece of the story. It's almost like that.
Yeah.
And isn't it crazy how consistent of a filmmaker Denis Villeneuve is?
He
Every single
is-
movie he's made has been fantastic.
I realized that Arrival, Prisoners, and Dune Part 2 are all in like my top 20 of all time.
Yeah.
Like how insane of a director. Same with Nolan. I mean, Nolan's a bit on and off.
Okay,
I
but
think
Nolan's had a couple misses, whereas
Exactly.
Denis has not
I
made a
think
bad movie.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of Denis.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a bad movie.
Yeah.
He is so consistent. Fuck, man. I continue.
Yeah.
I'll wait till splurt all my opinions out. At the
Yeah,
end.
like literally every technical aspect of the film is amazing. The performances were great. Austin Butler, Timothy Chalamet, what a powerful performance.
Incredible.
Zendaya was fantastic. The romance between those two was just so believable.
Yeah,
and
the chemistry, undeniable.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
The cinematography is beautiful, of course, as you
Greg
expect
Fraser.
from
Yep,
the master.
exactly. Aussie, incredible.
Yeah, and I think I was reading up. They used like special lenses to make it not look so ultra sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And like we watched it in IMAX, so we saw like the most crystal clear quality, and the sound was
Dude.
amazing. Like, what
Incredible.
about that part where where he makes the speech to the crowd?
Yeah.
And he's like, silence. And it's like the
Yeah.
bass.
Ooh.
Yeah, the sound design was amazing. That was the first IMAX film that we've both seen. Hey, like we've been a couple times, but the first film that's actually shot in IMAX.
It was the most incredible cinematic experience of my life,
Yeah, it was pretty great.
bar Avengers Endgame, because that was like a
Yeah,
stadium.
can't beat
mate.
that.
Yeah. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, just some of the shots, I literally like made an audible noise because I was like, whoa, that's like breathtaking.
Yeah.
Like it looks like an artwork.
Yeah.
I already mentioned to you like the one looking down from above
Yep.
on the dune when he's running, or
Yep.
like, you know, the slow motion shot from behind with like explosion.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
cape is like rustling in the wind and stuff.
It
Yeah,
gives
it's
it gives me goosebumps talking about it, man.
Yeah, and then as you and I both said, like after the film, we're still thinking about it days after and looking into the lore.
I'm
of it and
obsessed.
stuff. Yeah.
I'm obsessed. Okay, I'll give you a couple cool facts that I've figured out, or that I've researched, and maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't. That they shot the black and white scenes using an infrared camera. They didn't desaturize it, what they did is they used the IMAX camera and, okay, I'm going to try and maybe you understand this a bit more than I did. So they used the Alexa, and to do so, what it is films originally how they're shot, they have an infrared sensor and then they have a filter over it which allows the lens or camera to see the color wheel from blue to black or whatever it is, I don't know. And he realized that they wanted to, what's it called? If they did it, I can't exactly remember why, but they shot it in infrared and they realized if they removed that filter and replaced it with a color cutting filter as well, it would shoot, you would be able to see the infrared. And instead of desaturizing it, that's what they did to shoot the Austin Butler, the Gator Prime scenes on that. And because they wanted to, they're like, if we shoot in color, they were scared that it was going to look too much like Arrakis with the sand and everything. And so they wanted something distinguishable. And that's why they shot in infrared for that.
Right.
Thought that was absolutely amazing.
Is that meant to reflect what the planet actually looks like, or it's just like a stylistic choice?
I don't know. I don't think there was any description of the actual planet, what it looked like in the book. So they kind of had to just make it up. But I'm not entirely sure about that. Another thing is how they shot the sandworm, the riding on the sandworm. Oh yeah, sequence.
I figured that was a practical when he's like hanging.
Yeah,
onto it.
So that took them 3 months to shoot, and they had a whole separate what's it called? A whole separate team called the Sandworm team.
Sick.
That went off and shot that simultaneously as they were shooting other bits. Which I found absolutely fascinating, so cool. And they did it practical. They did it all practical when they could, and okay.
I was gonna say what I loved about that scene is that it felt like, you know, when you're at the beach and you get smashed by a wave,
dude,
and it's rushing past you and you're like you can't hear properly. It felt
incredible.
Like that.
It was such an. I think this whole film was just a cinematic, technical, and storytelling feat. Like it was absolutely amazing. I am obsessed with it. I've watched so many behind the scenes interviews with Greg Fraser, Denis. You know, things with Denis, like for example, what was it? So the original author, Frank Herbert, right, didn't really like how the book was perceived by audiences. I don't know if you heard this or not, because they all thought Paul was a hero. And they all, you know, he's the hero, he's the Messiah, da-da-da-da-da. So that's why he wrote the next book, Dune Messiah, to correct those kind of perceptions from the audiences. And like, no, he's actually not a good person.
Well, we're kind of going into spoiler territory if we expand upon this.
That's true. But anyways, so what Denis said this in interviews. Right, so this wouldn't be spoilers. It would be like, that was the original perception. And that's why he wanted to make Dune 2 closer to the original meaning that Frank Herbert wanted to display.
And what you can say is, even in the books, it's always a grey area. Like whether, you know, he's a hero or a villain.
Exactly. So. And dude, I'm obsessed with every single aspect of the film, from the cinematography to the music. We tried to stay away from the soundtrack until we finished it, and
I think the soundtrack of the first one was a little better, but they expanded upon it like as perfectly as they could have. Actually, there were some cracker tracks in there.
I don't know, man. I actually think this one, the first one you can't beat though, because it was so different from anything like we've ever heard. But this one had more reoccurring kind of tunes, and you can see, I've noticed in most of the songs, it's just the same tune redone over and over again in different ways.
As you said, it's the motifs, right? Because you know that one I said to you, I like Kiss the Ring.
Yes.
Plays towards the end.
It's the same as my favorite, which is Time Between, I don't know, Silence Between the Sand or whatever.
This is a slight spoiler for anyone who's listening, so skip ahead.
Slight.
But, you hear church bells.
Do you?
In that song? Yeah, if you listen back. And I'm like, that's a great
motif.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. Let me try and find the one that I'm talking about.
Okay, spoiler over.
A time of quiet between the storms.
Yeah, that was a nice one. Yeah,
that leads me into my favorite scene of the movie. Which, from all the craziness that went on in this film and all the amazing, most incredible action set pieces that I've seen ever in film, my favorite part of the movie was the intimate, kind of quiet talk between Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet on top of the sand dunes, which is literally just a quiet scene between the chaoticness of the whole film. And that emotion, I think, you know, that Denis was able to still put in the movie on top of everything that we saw. It just shows how much he really does value story and is so incredible to think of over all the things that you have to concentrate on as a director, and all the things of this big of a scale of a film. He still puts storytelling and emotion number one.
Yeah.
I found that incredible, and I think the music pairs with it perfectly. And like we said, IMAX is unlike anything. I would not recommend people to see this in normal cinema.
I was thinking that. I can't imagine not seeing it.
I can't imagine not seeing it in IMAX and how they would frame. So
yeah.
I think we were talking as well about how do they do this, like when it goes into cinemas and stuff like that. I still didn't really figure out that answer, but what I did figure out is that Denis, when he frames up the shots, he always envisions a theatrical experience, and when he frames up the shots, he always thinks of the wide shot and what people are going to see on a regular cinema before he does.
Yeah, I figured that would be the case. Yeah.
But what they did shoot on, and what they shot in two different aspects of it, aspect ratio. Sorry.
Yeah.
So they shot in. Oh God, I'm going to totally mess this up. But the regular IMAX ratio is 1.19 or something like that, which is full frame, and then they also shot in 1.4, which is like just below.
It actually looked like there were three though. In the
Was there?
Like there was the biggest one, and then there was one that was slightly smaller than that, and then there was another one which was just like the majority of the sequence.
Well, maybe I missed one, but
maybe I'm wrong.
From the interviews that I listened to, they filmed in both those two kind of IMAX frames, and I honestly I can't imagine.
It's interesting because I thought because the screen is basically vertical. It's like a phone screen.
Yeah, I know,
huge,
right?
And I thought that would be weird. But once you actually start watching and you get into it, it's not.
It's such an immersive experience.
Yeah,
it literally takes you into the film.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, front row. Oh man, I can't recommend it enough. If you somehow have access to an IMAX screen, go watch it, because it is such an amazing cinematic experience, and the sound as well, which is unrivaled in these IMAX theaters. It's just I can't imagine it seeing it like in anywhere else. But yeah, I remember being like this after the first Dune. Although I didn't really love the first Dune when I first watched it, I was still obsessed with the fact that he was able to pull a film like this off.
Yeah.
And I actually rewatched the first one before we saw the second one, and I had a newfound appreciation of it, and I loved it. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just I'm a bit further along in my filmmaking journey that I'm able to appreciate things that I wasn't back then, or I don't know, but I really understood it, and I thought I was going to be a bit confused with all the politics and stuff like that, but I understood everything, and I was so happy, because that's usually what takes me out of a movie. But this time I understood everything, and it just added to the amazing experience that it was. And for me, mate, it was a 5 out of 5 movie that slotted in on my list at 6th best movie I've ever seen, with a possibility to move up. But
very good. I gave it 4.5 stars because I never give anything 5 stars. No, I do give film 5 stars if they just
Didn't you give the B movie 5 out of 5 or something?
How'd you know? No, I don't even know if I've seen that in full. I think I have. I explained this to you already, but I gave it 4.5 just because I found it a little bit. I think this goes for a lot of Denis movies. They're slow burns and they're incredible, but they, my attention span is not as good as it could be.
Yep.
And so I found it a little bit slow in the middle.
Yep.
But that's not really a fault of the movie. I feel like if I watched it again and if I didn't have such a shit attention span, I'd probably give it 5 stars.
Yeah.
So otherwise pretty flawless movie.
It was.
All in all, yeah.
And my mate, who I didn't necessarily think he was going to like it, is my best mate, and he came away and he said it was one of the best movies he's ever seen. I'm like,
Sweet.
wow.
That's great.
Oh man, I'm so obsessed with it. And today I actually went ahead, pardon me, and I bought the Dune, the Heart and Soul of Dune, like the picture book thing. I'm obsessed with it, and it's made me even more inspired. And I get like this.
Well, I said to you, some of the shots reminded me of Ozma.
Yeah, and that
the
was
descent scene.
That's a really good big compliment.
Yeah. Well, that can definitely be a good like visual reference. For you, I think.
And it got me excited for doing the feature and really set off. I think that little talk that we had set off kind of the next kind of destination in my filmmaking journey after the horologist. Definitely go back and revisit the world of Ozma and write the feature, and so that's really exciting. But yeah, dude, I'm at my most inspired, and sorry, I just want to really mention the actors as well. Like incredible. I think the only person I wasn't
Dune.
Yeah. The only in Ozma in Dune, I think, and I heard this on a podcast as well, and I couldn't agree more. I think the only person I wasn't convinced of was, have a guess.
Is it a spoiler? Like someone that people might not know?
No.
Okay.
Somebody that I don't think, I think it was a bit of a miscast, but I'm not complaining. Like, it is what it is.
Florence Pugh.
No, I thought Florence. It was Christopher Walken.
Oh, really?
I think he was a bit of I just don't think, as an emperor, he wasn't very, like, threatening. I don't know.
Some people.
Hey, don't come close.
I'll blow you up.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah. I didn't see it, but hey, that's just my personal opinion. Everything else is for the fight choreography, amazing. I can go on and on. Yeah. I can go on and on about it, bro. I really can. Yeah. But he's definitely moved up as up my list of favorite directors, Denis.
Yes. Where would you rank him?
I think number 4. Yeah. So those 3 that I gave you, which were Nolan, Rian Johnson, and Damien Chazelle, I think Denis may even squeeze in there. I think he's equal 3rd. But I think, I don't know. I did you see the interview with Denis and Chris Nolan that they did?
Oh, I saw like snippets of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was really good. Go watch it. But yeah, like I said, most inspired that I am, and I'm writing a film at the moment, so I think this is a good segue.
Yeah, let's talk about your film,
and we'll talk about mine because then we'll go into yours. Into my progress, which since the last time we touched on progress, I've been we've just been trying to finalize this script, and we're getting closer and closer. And last night, I think I'll touch on it now. I think I just got really in my head about it all. I think.
What is worrying you in particular?
It's a confusing stage where we're at, because this film that I'm making is super, super hard to communicate with just the script. And I'll get to it. But what I've realized is the people that I connect with creatively 100% have gotten the script and have regurgitated back things that I didn't need to tell them of what I wanted to portray. And those people get my vision. They do. And then the people that are reading it and like they get it, like there's been no bad feedback. It's just been, this is what you can do to improve, right? And it's kind of heartbreaking because you get to a place where you're really set and you're really happy with the script. You're like, fuck yeah, we've just done all this person's feedback. And then somebody else comes along and says their kind of say on it, right?
But you also got to understand that you can't please everyone.
Exactly. And I'll get to that.
However, you can have a general consensus. Like with my film that I just did, Barren, like I didn't write the script, but I thought it was great when I first read it. And everyone I sent it to, like, pretty much had the same opinion. You know what I mean?
So
like and like I knew that the idea was great at that point.
Exactly. Yes. I think yours was pretty simple to understand as well, though. Yeah. So I've gone all out like I do with all my films, and I try do things differently. Because I want to stand out, right? I take risks. Sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. And I think this film is a big risk in the way that it's told. But we've got it's so weird because the feedback spectrum ranges from people telling me they love it, it's amazing, they were crying, they were like it's one of the best scripts they've read, and then it goes all the way to this needs a lot of work, it's not ripe yet. That's one of the feedback we got. Like it's really confusing, and I think yesterday it got a bit overwhelming because I think we got the script to a good place where I was really happy with it, and then we got a bit more feedback, and it's like it's just disheartening, right? But then I'm like, okay, I talked to Taha a bit about it, and I think this is where the problem is, I think, right now, is the people that are getting it and saying those nice things, right? They're not only saying nice things, they're giving me feedback as well. But I think the disassociation from people getting the script and really getting it, that tends to be the people that like it. To the people that say it's not ripe enough, like they have good points and we've been taking them on board or whatever. The people that connect with creatively and have really, really well, there's only a couple of people in the industry that I really have clicked with like that. And Federico being one, Taha being one, and there's a couple other people as well. They get it. And I think those people that have worked like Federico can understand what I'm trying to say without even saying it. I mean, we communicate. English isn't his first language. And he gets the script and he portrayed back to me everything I was trying to portray. So I think the thing that's missing is the Bible. And I came to this conclusion is because when I'm there and the people that get me are inside my brain, that's how I see it. They understand what I'm trying to portray. The people that aren't getting it, I feel like I'm having to trust in myself and trust that when I do the Bible, which is why I don't want to give it to any more people until I've done the fucking Bible, because I truly believe the Bible will be the best thing that I've done when it comes to pre-production ever. And we'll be able to bridge that gap of kind of confusion of what we're trying to tell.
Yeah, and I think some stories are just going to be a lot more visual and harder to explain on paper.
And so that's what I think the problem is, and I think is the risk that I've kind of taken on with this. And I think people would just there's going to be some people that don't get it until they see it on screen. And I was listening to an interview with Nolan, and I'm by no means comparing myself to Nolan or any of my movies to Nolan's movies, but it was a interview about him doing Tenet, and he's like, it was a movie about just his filmmaking in general, and with Inception, he's like, nobody really understood, but he was the center of kind of where everybody came to with questions to get them on the same page. In Tenet, nobody understood, not even him. When he was me neither. When he was making the movie, so that kind of makes me feel a bit better.
Yeah.
I'm not Nolan, but he's one of my biggest influences. But I think also this is the thing I was talking with Taha about is you're going to get feedback no matter where the script is. You can always improve it, and there's got to be a point where you go, okay, we're calling it, we're moving along with it. Otherwise, no matter what draft it is, people are always going to be able to give their own opinion on it.
Yeah, and I think it gets to a point where you've made the script as good as it can be.
Yes.
And then from there, you're just changing it, but you're not making it better. It's actually really interesting because with some of my previous works, I'd do like 20 drafts or something stupid. And then recently I went back and I read like older drafts of the same stories.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is already good, but I changed it so much because I just changed bits and pieces and it becomes a different story. And then the issue with that is that you don't really know what it's about anymore because you started off with one thing and you turned it into something else. And like they're both good stories, but they're just different.
Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree with you because, I mean, not where I'm at now, but with other drafts, I've done 20 plus drafts, both my films, right? And I think about from draft maybe 9 onwards, it's just changing bits and pieces. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the feedback that we've gotten hasn't been good. We have got some of the most incredible feedback back with some of the most like generous people with their time that have gone through it and really broken it down for us and like really gave us some invaluable feedback. Like Georgie, my friend at work, like she gave it to her boyfriend who's a writer, and he just wrote his first feature. He's not really in the industry, but that's what he does for a job, right? And he gave us some amazing feedback, which we spent 6 hours going through point by point and like coming up with notes to change it. And it was after that where me and Taha were both like, fantastic, we're both happy with it. And also the other thing, which we've talked about during the week, the length has been a bit of a problem because the first draft was 36 pages, which is fucked. But with that feedback, we were able to cut 3 pages to get it down to 33. And we weren't cutting out anything that we didn't want to get rid of. It was cleanup and really just adding layers, even though we're cutting pieces. And just, it was invaluable feedback. And I think that was incredible. And then from that, I also changed the dialogue from New York to Australian, because we decided that we don't want to spend a lot of money on a dialect coach and perfect the accent, because English is a bit easier to get away with compared to New York. So doing that, cut an extra page, and then I also just tidied it up and made it look better, like changed formatting, grammar, and all of that, and that cut off like about a page as well. So now we're at 31 and a bit pages, and I calculated there's about a page and a half of voiceover throughout the script. So technically we're at 29 and a bit pages, which is still a bit long, and I'm sure it would change. So that's another thing with feedback, is like when people give us now, it's like we can't really afford to add anything on. But yeah, that's where I've been at. And last night I just got overwhelmed with it because I was really happy with it, and I want to lock it off by the end of the week, and next week start the Bible, because I'm itching.
It's also totally understandable that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like you put so much of yourself in it, and
You
when
do.
people are just ripping it apart constantly, like it's
I
what you
know.
need, but it does take a toll on you. So don't
does.
put too much pressure on yourself, man. Just take the time you need away from it, step away from for a couple of days if you need, and then go back to it.
See, that's the thing. I can't. Well, that's what I've been doing, honestly, because I'm waiting on. It's been. I love Taha, but his mates have been like the people that he sent it to have been really slow with getting feedback.
Oh, that's the other thing. It's the fact that like you're paired with someone else.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but it's not Taha. Taha's great.
no,
Like,
I
we
know.
can-
I'm sure he is, but it does add another layer of complexity to it.
It does.
I don't know. For me, like I think I've tried to write stuff with people before, and it's just hard because if you have a different style with someone, I don't know how similar you and Taha's style is, but for me, like if I write with other people who have slightly different narrative preferences,
Yep.
it's very hard to like align that in one cohesive script.
Yeah, and try and avoid like they're your friends first and foremost, and like balancing that as well as a thing. But like I said, Taha is one of the people that really like clicks with me
good,
creatively. So it's been blissful, and it's only been positive when
That's
adding
awesome.
on to it. And I couldn't ask for a better partner in crime. So he's been amazing. We're just waiting back on feedback from him. But then I gave it to the first person outside the industry today, and gave it to one of my mates. And it was just before he came here, and he really liked it. And I told him like, be as harsh as you want, like don't be biased or whatever. And he loved it. And he's a person that, I mean, he spent so much time with me, he understands kind of where I'm coming at. And I was there kind of acting as the physical incarnation of the Bible if he needed like help with it all. But he understood it. And it's moments like that where I'm able to take a breath and be like, okay, film is subjective and it's messing with my fucking mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going through. And just doubting yourself as well. Like it's scary, man. Like it's so different to Ozma because you had the book to fall back on. This is like your own idea. You're tackling themes that are so personal to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a whole lot of fear involved, a whole lot of doubt involved. Which I don't know. I love that. I love that there's these challenges that not only challenge you professionally, but definitely as well make you a better person at the end of it. You go through all these different challenges when you're filmmaking, that you reap the personal repercussions as well. And this is just a challenge that we move through, and this is part of the business. And navigating feedback and what to do with it, and trusting yourself and your own vision as well is a big thing. And especially with a movie like this, it's because I see it as clear as day in my head. Like I literally see every single frame.
Yeah, but the whole point of being a director is that you need to communicate that with other people so they can also see what you see.
Exactly, which is why I'm fucking itching to get onto the Bible, because it's going to be, dude, I'm so excited for it. That's why I want shot
And you know what is
like,
funny about that? Like I remember with Barren, my short film.
Yeah.
Me and the DOP, we're speaking for months about like, setups and like, you think you're on the same page, and then he's like, all right, I've just drawn this mud map, and you look at it and you're like, oh, I envisioned it completely different. You know what I mean? So you've got to give each other as many tools as you can to show what you're envisioning.
Exactly. And I think this, the Bible will be one of my best creations on top of my films. And I'm planning, I think it will be somewhere between like 25 to 35 pages. Like I'm going to go full in with diagrams as much as I can to communicate what I want to do. I'm excited. That's me. Dan, you made a film recently, didn't you?
I did.
Where do we even fucking start?
Oh, mate. I made a short film called Barren, a psychological horror / thriller.
Yep.
It was supposed to be about 6 minutes long, but I think it's actually going to be about 10 minutes, which surprised me because I've only done like drama films, and I did one comedy as well in the past. And generally with those genres, the page count sort of equates to the on-screen time. So each page is about 1 minute of on-screen time, and that with drama, it's more or less in the ballpark. But with this film, it was a 6-page script, and it's ended up being 10 minutes, and that surprised me. Actually, the first cut was like 12 minutes. We've brought it down to about 10 and a half right now, and we might trim a little bit more because I've actually gotten rid of some little pieces of dialogue and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know, you find like it just flows better, and certain like when you have the script, you've got like, you know, each line has to have an intention, right? And then sometimes you find when you're editing that like you'll have 2 different lines that sort of say the same thing, and you're like, I don't really need this. Like, I know what this character means by this. I know who this character is. I don't need them to say 2 things that allude to that, right? Like in my script, you've got Derek, who's the abusive husband, and you've got like 3 lines where he's just rude to his wife, and it's like, well, maybe we can make that 2 lines. You know what I mean? You still get the same intention across. And I think you realize when it's on screen as well that the audience is more savvy to subtlety as well. And you can't always see that in a script. You can't see how an actor is going to perform something, right? But when you see on the screen, you can see like how an actor moves their eyes, how they deliver a line, all those subtleties that tell you who a character is, that you go, oh, like, no, there's enough here for me to understand, or for the audience to understand the story.
Yeah.
So I found that whole thing super interesting.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, no, and in terms of, we'll talk a bit more about the whole shoot and how
I have a couple
went.
questions.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. And like, you're always waiting for the ball to drop, you know what I mean? You're always waiting for that big problem that's really going to stress you out, and it just never came. And I think that is because of 2 things. One, the amount of preparation we put in, because, 100%. You know, it's not my first short film. I did 4 short films in film school. I did like 2 in high school. And then this is my first film outside of film school. So I guess it's sort of like my debut short film.
Sure.
And I think because of that, I've learned certain things. I've learned how to prepare myself and give myself the best chance so that I have less stress later on, right?
Prep is key,
like,
mate. Yep.
Yeah, so I made a previs of the whole film, which is like I basically filmed the scenes of the film. Like at home, I just acted them out in front of my camera, set up a tripod, blocked out the scenes, and then edited it together. So I had an idea of the pacing, which is really important in a horror movie. You need to know, because the pacing's a lot slower. That's what's added to the overall runtime of it. And I knew how it was going to cut together, so I knew I could send that to my DOP and be like, this is the frames I want. He's on the same page. So that's, you know, a tool that we could use to communicate my vision. And then, you know, he's drawing out diagrams for me. We're talking about color grading, like had meeting with the color grader. Like you're just communicating back and forth using visual references from other films, all that kind of stuff. Just making sure you're on the same page and the whole team knows exactly what you're doing. You know, even with like my makeup artist, for example, I'm sending her videos of effects from films that I think are really cool. She's giving me ideas. She's sending back videos. You know, it's just communicating as best you can with as many different references as you can to get, you know, the result that you want. And even then, there are still going to be things that you need to compromise according to your budget. And there are going to be things on the day that don't quite look or turn out the way that you want it. But you just need to be resilient, and you just have to say, you know what, like that's the way it is, or try and figure out another solution. But if you can minimize the amount of things that surprise you, then you're going to make things a lot less stressful for yourself. Yeah. So I think we worked out a great schedule. And that's the other funny thing, which you can sort of talk about as well. The schedule was the thing I was the most stressed about. And honestly, we got everything done on time. And I was actually really surprised. We did 50 shots in 2 and a little bit days?
We did. And for me, right, it's always daunting, like coming in as an AD with a crew that I've never met before. Yeah. And I think I was a bit hesitant at the start. And this is just a me thing, but like I really look up to like cinematographers and people that are at the top of their game, and Dave from the first shot I knew was at the top of his game. So honestly, I was a bit intimidated, like, and that as the time went on, I knew mean, it's hard with a 2-day shoot. Usually if you're on a longer shoot, you have more time to kind of adapt to the type of filmmakers that are on the set and when to push, how hard to push and stuff like that. And I think towards the end, I did start to get that. And, you know, me and Dave had some chats and stuff, and it made me feel really comfortable as well.
Yeah, no, he thought you were great. He said, like, you've got a great presence.
Yeah.
Which you do. You've got that AD brain where you know how to command a room and how to keep things rolling.
Yeah.
So...
But I think we did well.
Yeah, and I think the whole crew
awesome.
got along really well, which is
incredible.
like, I mean, I did pick out people that I knew would gel, and like just people I really like working with, and I think everyone just had a lovely time.
And I think this is testament to the way that, you know, you make your set. Like Sam, right, who's never been on a film before, comes away from that saying this is definitely the direction in which she wants to go in her career. And that's a testament to how good of a set and the environment that you created with the great people that you brought together and how smoothly it run. It couldn't have been a better set.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad I could provide that opportunity.
Yeah.
Someone, you know, because it's like, at the end of the day, if the film turns out to not be that great, at least people had fun making the film, and they're going to want to work with me again in the future. And everyone, you know, everyone has a good time. Everyone networks, and
it will
especially
be great,
when people are working for free.
Yeah.
You know, you want them to have a good experience.
Yeah.
So they at least didn't have a crap time.
Yeah.
Not making any money. But yeah, also building on that, what you just said about it will be great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No worries.
I've obviously like looked at the rushes and started piecing it together now and stuff. And like, when I saw the first assembly, obviously it was pretty rough.
Yeah. If you're not physically throwing up at your first assembly, you're not doing it right, as Scorsese says.
Obviously it was quite rough, but I think I was very pleased with the fact, and this is also because of Anya's awesome script that's, you know, tight, intentional, everything you want from a short film. I looked at the assembly and I was like, okay, this needs work, but there's a story there. You know, and the pacing felt really good too. I was like, there's a start, there's a middle, there's a end here. There was one section, like, you've got like the big climax scene, like the big confrontation at the end, and then you sort of have like, I guess, the epilogue, like how it all wraps up.
Yep.
And it felt like there was a quick jump between those 2 points. So that was, I had to figure out how to bridge that gap.
Yep.
And I ended up actually taking footage that we shot from another scene and placing it in there, and it actually extended it and makes it feel like more seamless.
There you go.
So sometimes you've got to be creative like that. Think of different solutions.
We had like that kind of scenario in Osmar as well, where we slotted in a scene from the ballroom into an earlier scene, like the hallway scene, but they're two different locations. It just worked.
Yeah. So like, there's a scene that we literally shot to be during the day, and we're going to color grade it to be nighttime to like make it like match where it's supposed to be in the film.
And there were shots that, you know, to make sure everybody went out on time and we wrapped on time, there were shots that you had, you know, you did by yourself with the actors with their permission, of course. How did those go? Because I wasn't there for them.
You mean the intimate scenes?
Yeah. Well,
really
but also the day before and after we wrapped. Because I never actually asked you, like the day before we came, you did a couple shots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that was super straightforward. It was just like 2 or 3 shots in the bathroom. That was easy.
Nice.
Yeah, no, and in terms of the intimate scenes, like because we had the intimacy.
How was working with an intimacy coordinator?
Really, really good. Like Adib and Michaela, the two. It was like Michaela's like the more experienced one, and then Adib is learning. So they both came along and sort of, you know, gave their skill set.
Yeah.
But no, they were fantastic. So professional. It's great delegating that to someone
else.
Yeah, specifically because like the health and safety of the actors is such a pivotal thing, and you never want to put that to the side because you're so focused on other things, which you can be, you know, as a director when you're trying to bring a film together. So just being able to outsource such an important thing to someone so professional was just, you know, it really made the whole thing easier, and I didn't have to worry about their safety, and they were happy, and I think from, you know, the last podcast, Jared and Emily had a great time on the set as well. So I think
made them feel comfortable. I also think getting an intimacy coordinator kind of sets the standard of professionality as well.
Yes.
On set, and everybody knows like this is a set. This is not your regular kind of like we're not in school anymore. Like this is the professional world, and we're getting real things. And it was a great experience.
Were you stressing much on the set?
No.
You had a good time?
Oh, you mean overall?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
It just took me a bit to get my footing, but
Yeah.
I think I did. I think the first day was much easier.
Yeah.
Um,
The second day was definitely more complex. 'Cause
There
we had that
was
big
one
scene.
point, I wasn't stressing, but there was one point which was really stressful, and it was just we're running out of time.
Yeah, it was that big climax scene because I was
Yeah.
like, we don't have
Yes.
heaps of time to shoot this,
Yeah.
and like there's a lot of shots. That
Yeah.
was like, I think that's the closest I got to being stressed throughout the
Yeah.
whole film, and I wasn't even like stressed. I
No,
was more
you-
just
yeah.
like hyper focused.
100%.
But we ended up being able to take out a lot of shots, and like we covered everything in the way we needed to, which was really good.
Another thing about Dave that I do want to say is like the way that he respected every department,
Yeah.
and even like me as an AD, and understanding because I've worked with DPs before that don't give a shit about
Yeah.
time. Oh no, give me one more hour, whatever.
Yeah.
Like Dave was always communicating. He's
Yeah,
such
he's
a
great.
professional guy and such a great DP that his team. Holy shit! I've never
Yeah.
seen a camera department work as
Yeah,
fast
and
as they
Costa,
have.
the lighting guy,
Dude,
he's so quick.
like they talk in their own language, and then
Yeah.
boom, he's like
Yeah.
setting up what
And
he
I'm
wants
looking at the
straight
screen.
away.
I'm just like it's so great because like, back in the days of film school when you're way less prepared, right?
Yeah.
It's like you'd go and you'd get a shot, and then
Yeah.
after you call cut. All right, what are we doing next?
Yeah.
And you spend like half an
Yeah,
hour talking
yeah.
about what you're doing next. Oh, the light's there. Oh, it doesn't look right. Let's try putting it over here. Whereas in this situation,
knew.
because we talked about it for months, right?
Yeah.
So I could literally, we call cut, I leave the room, let them set up, and I come in and it's ready to go.
But here's the thing. My question to you: were the lighting setups? Were they exactly what you planned out in mud maps?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, that just shows the importance of fucking preparation, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a couple more questions about the on-set experience, man, and I asked this to Austin as well. So I'm going to go through you and ask you the same. I'm going to start with, what are you really happy with how this is on-set experience. What are you really happy with like something that maybe you planned for, that you were stressed and went really well? What do you think you nailed on set?
I honestly, to be honest, this might be a self-indulgent answer, but I
Everything.
think I'm just, I'm mostly proud of myself.
Mate,
And
of
how I
course.
felt throughout the whole process, because I really just thought I'd be like
Stressed,
way
anxious.
more stressed, and as I said, I was waiting for that point when the ball dropped. And another thing that added to it is because we stayed on location, I stayed on location with Dave and Indy and a bunch of us. So we could really just after we wrapped for the day, we could chill out, hang out a bit, and then, go to bed. And I actually got some decent sleep. I wasn't petrified because we'd planned everything out. I wasn't worried, oh my God, how are we going to shoot tomorrow's scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you wake up in the morning, you have some brekkie, you can start to set up a little bit early and wait for everyone to come in. And it just makes it so much smoother and so much easier. But
Amazing.
yeah, no, just the fact that I felt so in my element.
Yep.
And I just had that feeling of this is what I'm supposed to do. And
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
it's just, I don't know, it's the best feeling ever.
I just want to say something. The best catering I think I'll ever have.
Well, that's props to my parents. My
film.
mum cooked up a mean
Dude.
food for everyone.
Everybody I've spoken to,
She'll
they're
be
like,
happy to hear that.
that was the most, and I genuinely, we're never getting that again. No matter where we are, unless we're on your films, man.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, it was absolutely incredible. I can't even remember. I know the second day was just a whole feast of pasta, man.
I think it was
just-
lasagna and salads and a bunch of other things on the second day.
Dude.
First day was chicken schnitzel and some other things.
Chicken schnitzel. As for catering, insane, brother. Insane. All right. What would you change or do differently? If any.
Look, there's always going to be little
Always.
technical things that you can
Yep.
change. Maybe I would The thing is, I feel like I genuinely did the best I could
Mate, of
with
course.
what I had.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm gonna go back and be look, I wish I could have maybe given a few extra directions, maybe tweak the performances a little bit more in certain. It's not the actors' performances, but you know how there's just little things sometimes, maybe the way someone grabs an object. Or
Yeah, sure.
Little things where you're I could tighten up that movement, or
Yeah.
there's one particular shot. It's a close up of Emily, and you can see a bit of glitter on her, and I'm I would have
Dude, I
gotten rid of
swear
that.
we
But
stopped that and we tried to get rid of it.
there was a
right?
different time when that happened,
Oh,
but
shit.
there's one that you can see. But I was talking to Lockie about it. He reckons we can remove it, so it's not a big deal.
Amazing.
But yeah, just little things like that I'd sort of polish up a little bit.
Oh, mate,
but there's
if-
no big things that I'm I really wish I did that differently.
Again, preparation is key.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
If the only thing you're stressing out is glitter, then I think you're fine, mate.
Exactly.
What is the thing you're most surprised about?
An on-set thing, or
Yep,
just the
on
film?
set, or in general, I guess. But yeah,
Probably like my synergy with the crew.
okay.
Like, I mean, obviously I've worked with Dave before, but never as a director.
Mm.
And like when you're doing pre-production and stuff, it's all,
Yeah.
fine, but
Yep.
you don't know how it's going to be on set.
Yeah.
But then when we got on set, it was just like perfect. Like I think he might even be my guy now, the way you are with Connor.
Brother, I was literally just about to say that. I'm
Yeah.
like, have you met anybody on that set that you would now continue on?
Yeah, probably him. And also, I really like Costa, the lighting
So do
guy.
I,
He's
yeah.
he's brilliant.
You've hit gold with them, mate.
Yeah, and then I mean there are other people on that set that I already love working with and would continue to work with. Like Emily, she was the lighting
Yeah.
assistant, but like we're great friends now, and I would love to have her on every shoot if I can find a position for her.
Amazing.
Just everything like that. And like Lockie, his stills, behind the scenes stills were amazing.
Bro,
That man is a god.
always.
So
He's a fucking god.
yeah.
All right. Your favorite part of this process so far?
I feel like my favorite part of, like in terms of the three, like pre-production, production, post-production, it's always got to be production.
Yeah.
I like the pace of it. I like that if you encounter problems, you get to solve them straight away. I like the community, like how you're there with people having fun. It's just my favorite. It combines everything that I love most about filmmaking.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were particular scenes that I really loved. Well, this is my first time trying horror. So
Yeah.
I really loved just diving into that genre for the first time and just like having reactions to certain things. Like when we did the vomit scene,
Oh,
I was like,
dude.
oh, like it. And I was like, I can tell this is
Incredible.
going to work because
Yeah.
I'm having such a visceral reaction just to watching the footage, let alone like when we edit it together and the sound effects and everything. So
Bro, your Ari Aster influenced shots, man.
Yeah.
Insane.
yeah, you could tell.
I fucking, of course I could. I
Yeah,
told you
that's
on the
actually that's something else. That's another thing that I'm really proud of. Like, I feel like this film has more of a vision than anything I've made before.
Yep.
My other films sort of like tend to fall into your typical drama kind of thing. It doesn't really distinguish me as much as
This has a voice.
yeah, but this
Yeah.
like feels like it has a style. Like
For
I'm saying
sure.
something, and I was saying this to Indy actually. Like, I noticed in this one when I was editing one of the scenes that I actually do have a coherent style with the way my scenes are cut together and play out.
Yeah.
Like I can actually see it now because I've made enough films to like, and it's a really hard thing to describe. But when you just watch the scene, you can tell that that's cut by Daniel Kagola. You know what I mean?
Mate, that's fucking
So-
perfect. Proud of you, mate.
Sorry, cut by Lachlan Miller.
Cut by
Daniel
Lachlan
Kagola,
Miller.
directed
Yeah,
by
yeah,
Daniel
yeah, directed
Kagola.
by-
Yeah.
And what are your plans with this? Where do you see it going? What are your goals, I guess?
Well, I
from
definitely
now?
want to try a film festival run. I like looking at it now. I don't think it's gonna, get into Sundance, but I definitely think it has a shot at like, getting into some cool horror festivals and
Yeah.
whatnot. Like,
Sydney Underground. That's a big one that you definitely should enter.
okay, because like on a technical level, it's definitely decent. Like the cinematography is good, performances are good, like the story's good. There's
Yeah.
nothing that like you watch and you're like, oh, this is kind of like mid. You know what I mean?
I honestly think, man, that these festivals will accept anything that looks like $1,000,000, or if you have
But
a
it's not just about
world-class-
the look of
no. But it definitely gives you a fucking
Oh, of course.
leg
yeah.
up into this, and I feel like, bro, with your cinematography is fucking amazing, and I guarantee every other aspect will be, because I know you as a person. You're gonna do fine in festivals. Mate.
Thanks, man.
You're gonna do fine. But is that's what your goal is to?
Yeah, so I'll do a festival run. I have a few other industry people I know that I want to like branch out to and show them my film. And that's why I wanted to make something short, because it's like I can give that to them and be like, give this a watch. If you send somebody like
Ozma.
if you send a busy person like
Yeah,
something that's
sure,
half an hour, like no offense to you, but
No, that's all right, man.
it's just harder for them to take time out of their day to watch that.
Yeah,
rather
bro,
than something shorter, So,
1,000% agree.
yeah.
So fantastic. Did you want to say anything else about the set? while you're at it? Oh, the performances.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we had Jared and Emily on already, but yeah, no, the performances are great. So much fun for them and for me as well. Like as a director, to just play around with those performances, and I was super pleased with how it all turned out.
Fucking fantastic, man. Good stuff. Well, that's it for the progress of the week, ladies and gents. Let's get on to the seg.
The seg.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is The Seg, and we have our amazing producer, Indy. What have you got for us this week?
So we've got some trivia.
Nice.
Not trivia, more...
Movie quotes, right?
Yeah, movie quotes. And basically, I'm going to give you a quote from a film, and you have to finish the quote. It will either be from the same sentence or the dialogue that follows. If you feel like you want a hint, I can give you the name of the film. But otherwise, I'm just going to say words.
All right. You ready?
Sure.
Let's do this. Who's going first? Either or? Are
Either
we both
or.
going to answer it, or are we going to do it individually?
It's up to you guys, so you can choose to compete
Oh,
against
yeah. Should we see like who gets it first?
Dan versus Josh.
Fuck, man. All right. Do we have a buzzer?
We'll just say your name.
All right, and then you tell us who gets it first.
Right. I used to say I live.
Let
me no think idea about what that this is.
one. I used to say I live.
I have no idea what it is.
Ooh, okay. I think we're going to have to go to the hint right now.
Fast and Furious 7.
Oh, that's not a hint.
I used to say I live. Is this like
Wait,
just
that's-
about
is that
Paul
the movie?
Walker's
That's
life?
the movie.
Oh, Indy just said the movie.
No, I know. Yeah,
Oh.
that's fine. That's the hint. It's going to be the movie if we don't get the quote straight
Wait,
away.
how is that a hint?
Well, we're not trying to guess the title. We're trying to finish the quote. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You should
okay.
have listened to the instructions.
Sorry. I was thinking about other stuff. Yeah.
All right. I used to say I lived. Isn't that the story of Paul Walker's life? So it's not like from Paul Walker. Let's cut that out.
Oh my God.
All right. I used to... What is it again?
I used to say I live.
Josh. A quarter mile at a time.
Oh.
Woo! That's all right, baby. That's a good one. That's a very, very, very good one.
I thought we had to guess the movie. Okay.
Nah, finish
Should've
it.
listened to the
No, they said
instructions.
finish the quote. That's all right, let's do this.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep.
I brought peace.
Oh.
Is that Thanos?
I brought peace. I brought peas and carrots.
Yeah, I don't know.
Peace. I brought peace. Yeah, give us the movie.
Star Wars.
Oh.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me. I brought peace.
There's a second hint for that one because there's multiple. I
Okay,
can give you
yeah.
the
Alright,
second
yeah.
one.
Oh, is it The Last Jedi?
No.
What's
Okay.
the hint?
No, what is it? What's the hint?
Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, Josh. I brought peace. Fuck. It's not to my empire or something?
No.
Oh, it's in that fucking sentence though. Yeah,
Yes.
it's in that. I brought peace. Oh.
To the galaxy.
I brought
know.
peace to... Can you give us a couple more words or no? What's the next word?
Freedom.
Oh,
And justice.
Josh, democracy, is it?
Democracy.
Sorry,
Get down and give me
democracy.
20.
You got the next word?
What?
Justice.
And freedom.
No.
Fuck. All right, yeah. I
Is
don't know.
it justice to the galaxy?
No.
I don't know. What?
I
To
brought,
my new empire.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes!
okay. All right, you get that.
Josh, to my new empire. There you go. 2-0, baby. All right, let's go. These are good quotes. I'm fucking
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah, they're hard.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this one time. What master do you serve?
Whoa.
Oh my god, I
Like
know
I've
it.
heard that, yeah.
What master do you serve? Josh. It's from Avengers Endgame. What? Jesus?
Dan.
Basically. Dan?
It's Infinity War.
Oh, Infinity War. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus?
Can I get that one?
It's
but yeah,
Jesus,
that's
right?
the. I mean, that's,
there's
oh, you finished the
there's a part
quote.
before the quote, so that's the end of the quote.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's a middle bit.
I serve Jesus.
It's what master do I serve? What am I supposed to say? Jesus.
Oh, okay.
I'll give that half point.
Give that to Josh.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's a good one. Yeah.
All
yeah.
right, next.
Come on, Dan. Lack it a bit.
I did not hit her. It's not true.
Dan.
Bullshit.
I
Josh.
did not hit her. I did
Oh,
not
dear.
owe her mark.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, that's good. That's very good. Yeah.
Why don't they ever make a movie about what happens after the kiss?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hint?
Is Friends with Benefits?
Yes.
Fuck.
Oh, you would pick his favorite movie.
Oh, Josh. They do. It's called sex.
Close.
They do. It's called porn.
Yes.
There we
Oh.
go. Yeah. Sorry, Dan.
It's all right.
All right.
Do you like? Do you like apples? Yeah.
Dan, how you like them apples?
Yeah.
Good with hunting.
Yeah, I chose one from both your favorite movies.
Okay, good. All right, that's next.
I don't know if you've ever been in a fight before.
Josh. Oh, fuck.
I know it.
Yeah, go.
Okay, Dan. There's not usually this much talking.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
What's that from again?
Civil War.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I
that's
thought it
right.
was, yeah.
So what's
a
the
Marvel
scores?
one. I thought it was either that or Guardians.
Are you on 3? Or 2?
Yeah, I think are you on 4?
4.
Okay.
4? I think. I don't know. 4 or 5.
Should we just do next one, winner takes all?
That's all right. We got a couple of minutes. We got like 3 minutes before we...
Okay.
Just keep going.
Go.
Oh, wait. How many quotes do you have?
I've got a bunch.
Oh,
But
shit.
like,
All right. Yeah, let's do like... First one to fucking... I don't know.
5.
5, yeah.
What do you want?
4.
Oh, okay.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya,
Inigo Montoya.
Hint?
Princess Bride.
No. No.
You guys suck.
You hadn't seen it.
I've seen it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just, it
that
was
was
ages
fun.
You
ago.
killed my father, prepare to die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Yeah, no. Not iconic enough. Kidding. Jokes.
Who are you going to call?
Josh, Ghostbusters.
I was
No, we'll do another one. Last one wins. Oh, God
Okay,
damn.
okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Nah, we'll do a couple more. Fuck, 5. What are we on? 5, 3. We'll do a couple more until the thing ends.
One's a trick.
Josh,
Dan.
2's a lesson.
Had to throw that in there. He ruined my dream journal.
Dan. It's Shark Boy Lava Girl.
Yep.
What is it like? Go to the principal's office.
Close.
You ruined my dream journal.
He's got it.
Send him to the principal's office and have him expelled.
There you go.
God, even the accent. I think that should be a point in itself. All right, wait. What is that? I'm on 6. You're on
Am I on 4?
4.
think 4.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll
6,
do
4.
next one wins or?
We have 1 more minute. Okay, we'll do 2 more.
All right.
What are you? 6?
4.
4. Okay, so you have to get these 2 to catch up to me.
Okay.
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed
Josh.
to go.
Dan. Oh.
Nah. I'll do it myself. No, that's not it. No, fuck yeah.
Goes to Dan.
Wait. Let me try and get this right.
No, oh, fuck.
What is the exact wording?
Bro, you know there's 2 versions of like what he says back to him in the cinemas? Oh, he's crumbling.
No.
Nah. Fuck. Nah.
It is not. And then
I'm going home.
Far From Home.
It's not even the
Oh,
right
I
movie.
can't remember now.
Nah. I'm trying. I keep saying it. Think I'm
Imagine he
gonna.
just says, nah, it doesn't backflip. That's where the story's supposed to end. Nah.
Nah.
We'll let you keep thinking of it. Wait,
What's the
can I have
next-
the next word?
Yeah, what?
I'm a.
I'm a
I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna
Okay,
write
just-
my
just
own
say it. What is
story.
it?
I'm gonna do my own thing.
Oh.
All right, give us
Okay.
some 2 more.
The first rule of
Fight Club. Dan. The first rule of Fight Club. You do not talk about Fight Club. Is
Yep.
that what it is? Cool. Yep.
Look, I'm happy to not get that point.
Okay,
All right,
let's
6-5.
see. Yeah.
apes.
Oh, Dan. Together, strong.
Oh, 6-6. All right, we'll do this one last.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't like jazz?
Josh, it's from La La Land. Oh, you're kidding me. What do you mean you don't like jazz?
Come on, mate. It's your favorite.
I know
movie.
what I'm envisioning. Oh, no, well, that was. I'm envisioning them having the conversation. What do you mean you don't like jazz?
You like jazz?
Wait, am I saying what Mia says back to him?
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, no. Fuck. Embarrassed.
What is it? I don't know what it is.
It means that when I listen to it, I don't like it.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That's a hard
right,
one.
yeah.
Okay, next.
Smart ass.
He moves right there. Wait.
Dan.
Right there. Yes.
No idea.
It's The Incredibles.
Yep.
When he moves, but like, what's the rest of that line? It's like he moves right there. Like I don't know if there's
Oh,
a
you
li-
didn't even let me finish the quote.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Do you want to finish it?
but there's no tack on my stool before he moves, and after he moves, there's a tack.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
And then-
And then is it someone else's line?
Nah, it's his line again.
Oh.
It's the end of his line.
Ooh. Oh no, Dad doesn't know it.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, new one. What is it?
Coincidence? I think not.
Oh, God, I do know
Not.
I think not.
Enough. All of you are beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not
Dan.
be bullied by.
Some.
And then what does he say?
It's when the Hulk slams Loki into the ground
But then what does
in
he say?
Avengers. Puny God.
There you go.
Yeah, sweet. There we go. Did I win that?
Yeah, you did.
Hey, that's
Comeback
what's
of the
up.
century. Well done, Dan. Good stuff. Thank you, Indy. Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Indy.
Alrighty, guys, and that brings us to the end of the podcast. Dan.
Let's tie a little bow on this episode.
Guys, if you want to find us on TikTok or Instagram, it's the Pre-Prod Pod, I think. And then the Pre-Production Meeting on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. And that's it, ladies and gents. Don't forget to rate 5 stars, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.